15 years had passed since the exile, and the Sol system was nothing like it used to be. Earth struggled under the weight of 20 billion people. The city stretched from horizon to horizon, and the air was thick with the smoke of too many people living in too small a space. But humanity was not dying. They were changing. Dr. Shin Yunji floated in her spacesuit outside mining station Echo 7. What had once been a simple asteroid mining platform was now something incredible. The station had grown like a living thing, with spinning wheels and connecting tubes that housed 50,000 people. The ecosystem is stable, she reported to her team. Oxygen production is at 105%. Food production exceeds consumption by 12%. We are completely self-sufficient. Her assistant, a young engineer named Quan Taemin, looked amazed. How is this possible? We started with just a mining station. Yunji smiled inside her helmet. When you cannot get resources from outside, you learn to recycle everything. We grow food in chambers that use artificial sunlight. We recycle air and water so efficiently that nothing is wasted. We even recycle the waste into fertilizer for the food chambers. The asteroid habitats were humanity's first great innovation after the exile. Hundreds of them floated throughout the Sol system, each one a complete world capable of supporting thousands of people. They used no planetary resources and could be built anywhere there were asteroids to mine. On Mars, Commander Baek Taehyung walked through the underground city of New Busan. The tunnels stretched for hundreds of kilometers beneath the red planet's surface. Unlike the cramped conditions on Earth, the Martian cities were spacious and beautiful. Production report, he said to his aide as they walked past a massive factory complex. Steel production is up 30% from last month, the aide replied. The new automated systems are working perfectly. We are now producing more ships and equipment than we did before the exile. Taehyung nodded. The underground factories were marvels of efficiency. They used Martian resources to build everything humanity needed, but they were hidden from alien satellites that might be watching. As far as the galaxy knew, Mars was still the barren, empty world it had always been. The real breakthrough came from an unexpected source. Dr. Oh Mijin had been working on theoretical physics for 20 years. Before the exile, other scientists had called her ideas crazy. Now those crazy ideas were humanity's salvation. The quantum tunnel drive is ready for testing, she announced to the research team gathered in her hidden laboratory on Europa. The laboratory was built inside the ice moon's ocean, completely invisible to outside observation. Her colleague, Dr. Yu Heijin, looked skeptical. Are you certain this will work? The theory seems impossible, Mijin smiled. All the best human achievements seemed impossible at first. This drive does not use the alien jump gate network. It creates its own path through space-time. We can travel faster than light without anyone knowing we exist. The test was conducted in the outer system, far from any possible alien observers. A small ship equipped with the new drive disappeared in a flash of blue light. 30 minutes later, it reappeared near Pluto, having traveled the distance in seconds instead of hours. It works, Mijin whispered, tears in her eyes. We are no longer trapped. But the drive was just one part of humanity's transformation. General Song Wubin had spent 15 years turning the entire Sol system into a fortress. Every asteroid had sensors. Every space station had weapons. Every ship was part of a coordinated defense network. Show me the simulation, he ordered his staff. In the command center built inside Earth's moon, the holographic display showed the Sol system as a web of interconnected defenses. If aliens attacked from any direction, they would face coordinated resistance from thousands of positions. Ships could be repaired and rearmed at any location. Damaged vessels could hide behind asteroids while others took their place. It is beautiful, said his aide, Colonel Park Hyung-soo. They wanted to trap us in a cage. Instead, we turned the cage into a fortress. On Ceres, engineer Lim Ga-young watched her latest creation at work. The fabricator swarm looked like a cloud of metal insects, but each one was a sophisticated machine. They could take raw asteroid material and turn it into anything humanity needed. Today we are building ships, she told her team. Tomorrow we might build habitats or weapons or scientific equipment. The swarms can make anything we can design. Her supervisor, Dr. An Sulgi, was amazed by the production rates. In one day, these machines build more than our old factories could build in a month. And they need no human workers, no supply lines, and no fixed facilities. The swarms had solved humanity's resource problems forever. They could turn any raw material into any finished product. Comets became sources of water and organic compounds. Asteroids became sources of metals and rare elements. The entire solar system became humanity's factory. But perhaps the most important change was not technological. It was cultural. The exile had forced humans to work together in ways they never had before. The old divisions between nations and races seemed pointless when survival was at stake. Captain Nam Subin commanded one of the new deep space patrol ships. Her crew included people from every nation on Earth and every colony that had been abandoned. They worked together perfectly because they shared a common purpose. "Contact on sensors," her officer reported. "It appears to be debris from an old alien probe." "Investigate carefully," Subin ordered. "We need to know everything about their technology." The probe had been sent to spy on humanity years ago, but its systems had failed. Human engineers studied every component, learning how alien technology worked. Each piece of information was stored and analyzed. Dr. Kim Yujin led the Alien Technology Research Program. Her team had reverse-engineered dozens of alien devices. "Their technology is more advanced than ours in some ways," she explained to the Research Council. "But it is also more limited. They build things to last forever, but they rarely innovate." She showed examples on the holographic display. "This alien computer is 500 years old, but it still works perfectly. However, our newest computers are 10 times more powerful despite being built last month. They value stability over progress." The alien preference for stability was their weakness. Human technology improved every year, while alien technology stayed the same for centuries. The gap was closing rapidly. Commander Zhang Wuhyung commanded the secret shipyards hidden in the asteroid belt. His workers were building vessels unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. They were faster, more powerful, and more advanced than anything in the alien fleets. "The new battlecruiser is ready for trials," he reported to Admiral Cho Hyunwoo during their monthly meeting. "Specifications?" the Admiral asked. 50% faster than the best alien ships. Weapons that can penetrate any known alien armor. Stealth systems that make us invisible to their sensors. And most importantly, quantum tunnel drives that let us appear anywhere without warning." Hyunwoo nodded grimly. Humanity was no longer the weak species that had been exiled 15 years ago. They were becoming something the galaxy had never seen before. In the depths of Europa's hidden ocean, children born after the exile attended schools where they learned advanced physics and engineering from the age of 5. They would never know the old Earth where resources were limited and dreams were small. Teacher Moon Chaeyan watched her students work on advanced robotics projects. These children took for granted technologies that would amaze the greatest alien scientists. They thought it was normal to live in space, to build machines that could think, and to dream of traveling to distant stars. "Today we will design a new type of space habitat," she announced to her class. "Who has ideas?" Dozens of young hands shot up. These children did not just learn about technology, they improved it. Each generation of humans was smarter and more capable than the last. The exile that was meant to destroy humanity had instead created something unprecedented. An entire species united by common purpose, unlimited by planetary thinking, and driven by the need to prove their worth to a galaxy that had rejected them. Admiral Cho Hyunwoo looked at the reports flowing in from across the system. Production was increasing every month. Population was growing in the space habitats. Technology was advancing at an incredible rate. And most importantly, morale was high. The aliens had wanted to contain humanity's chaos and unpredictability. Instead, they had focused those qualities like a laser beam. Humanity was no longer just another species struggling for survival. They were becoming something that would shake the foundations of galactic civilization. The galaxy had no idea what was coming. President Kang Yeji stood in the rebuilt council chambers on Earth, looking at the same blue crystal pillars that had witnessed humanity's exile 52 years earlier. But now everything was different. The chamber was filled with alien delegates who had come not to judge humanity, but to beg for their help. The news of Kepler 442 had traveled faster than the defeated Vrex fleet. Within days, every government in the galaxy was sending desperate messages to Earth. Species that had voted to exile humanity now pleaded for meetings, trade agreements, and technological assistance. "The Aquatic Republic requests immediate access to human medical technology," reported Foreign Minister Lee Jae-hyun as he read through the latest communications. They are offering exclusive mining rights to their core systems in exchange. The Granite Confederation wants to purchase our terraforming technology, added Trade Coordinator Park Seojin. They are willing to provide rare minerals worth more than their entire annual economic output. Kang Yeji listened to the reports with a mixture of satisfaction and sadness. These were the same species that had condemned humanity as too dangerous for galactic civilization. Now they desperately needed the very qualities they had once feared. But not everyone was ready to accept the new reality. Admiral Thex 9 had returned to Vrex space with his tale of defeat, but the Vrex High Command refused to believe that humans could be so advanced. They began gathering allies for a grand coalition against humanity. The Aerial Federation agreed to join the alliance, as did the Machine Collective and 3 minor species. Together, they commanded over 10,000 ships, the largest military force ever assembled. In galactic history, Admiral Seo Kyung-hwan received intelligence reports about the alien alliance from his command ship in the Outer Rim. The aliens were gathering their fleets in the Nexus system, preparing for what they called the final solution to the human problem. They never learn, he commented to his aide, Captain Hong Minju. Show them our response. On the tactical display, red dots representing human ships appeared throughout the galaxy. There were not 10,000 ships. There were 50,000. And each one was more advanced than anything the aliens possessed. Signal all fleet commanders, Kyung-hwan ordered. Operation Galactic Dawn is now active. Time to end this charade. The human fleet that appeared in the Nexus system was beyond alien comprehension. Ships materialized from stealth simultaneously around every planet, every space station, and every enemy vessel. The coordination required for such a maneuver was impossible according to alien science. But humanity had made the impossible routine. Fleet Admiral Hong Minju commanded the operation from her flagship New Dawn. She looked at the massive alien formation with professional interest. 10,000 ships arranged in the same predictable patterns that had failed at Kepler 442. Attention alien fleet, she broadcast on all frequencies. You are completely surrounded and outgunned. Power down your weapons and prepare to receive our terms. Admiral Thex 9, commanding the Allied fleet, stared at his sensors in disbelief. The human ships appeared to be everywhere at once. His formation was not just surrounded, it was completely penetrated. Enemy vessels floated between his own ships, close enough to ram them. How did they get so close without being detected? He demanded. Unknown, sir, his sensor officer replied. They seem to have appeared from nothing. Open fire. All ships engage the enemy. The alien fleet opened fire with everything they had. Thousands of energy beams and missile salvos filled space with deadly light. But the human ships were no longer where the weapons had been aimed. They moved like dancers, flowing around the incoming fire, while returning shots of devastating precision. Captain Nam Subin commanded the destroyer Swift Justice as it wove between enemy battleships. Her ship was smaller than the alien vessels, but infinitely more maneuverable. Target their command systems, she ordered. Disable but do not destroy. The battle was more of a demonstration than a conflict. Human ships struck with surgical precision, disabling enemy weapons and engines while leaving crews unharmed. The alien formation, designed for fighting other slow-moving alien fleets, fell apart completely when faced with opponents who could attack from any angle at any time. Within 30 minutes, the largest military force in galactic history was floating helplessly in space. Not a single alien ship had been destroyed, but none remained capable of resistance. The human fleet had taken no casualties at all. Admiral Thex 9 sat in his darkened command center, listening to the reports of defeat from across his fleet. Every ship disabled, every weapon silenced, every formation scattered. The humans had not even been trying to kill them. Incoming transmission, his communication officer reported. Fleet Admiral Hong Minju appeared on the screen, her expression calm and professional. Admiral Thex 9, this is your second lesson in human capabilities. We could have destroyed your entire fleet in minutes. Instead, we chose to preserve lives while ending this pointless conflict. What do you want? Thex 9 asked weakly. The same thing we have always wanted, Hong Minju replied. Recognition as equals in galactic civilization. Your fleets will be repaired and returned home, but this is the last time we will respond to aggression with mercy. The transmission ended and human repair ships immediately began restoring alien vessels. They worked with incredible speed and efficiency, fixing damage faster than the aliens could understand. Within hours, ships that had been crippled were fully operational again, but the message was clear. Humanity could have conquered the entire galaxy if they chose to. Instead, they offered partnership. Chief Diplomat Yoon Dongwook addressed the reformed Galactic Council from the same podium where humanity had once been condemned. Representatives from every major species listened as he outlined humanity's vision for the future. "We do not seek dominance," he explained. "We seek cooperation. Human technology can solve problems that have plagued galactic civilization for millennia. Our medical advances can eliminate diseases. Our industrial methods can end scarcity. Our exploration techniques can open new frontiers." He activated a holographic display showing human achievements. "We have developed faster-than-light communication that works across the entire galaxy. We have created manufacturing systems that can build anything from basic raw materials. We have medical treatments that can extend lifespans and cure genetic disorders." The alien delegates listened in amazement. Each technology Dongwook described was beyond their current capabilities. Some seemed almost magical. "But we will not share these gifts with a galaxy that remains hostile to human existence," he continued. "We offer partnership to those who accept us as equals. For those who choose continued aggression, we offer only isolation." The transformation began immediately. Species that had once feared human innovation now competed to form partnerships with human colonies. The galaxy that had exiled humanity for being too chaotic suddenly discovered that chaos was exactly what they needed. Dr. Lim Chaeyoung led the first medical mission to the Aquatic Republic. Their people had suffered from a genetic disease for centuries, accepting it as an unchangeable fact of life. "Human gene therapy cured the condition in weeks. This is impossible," whispered the aquatic chief physician as he watched children who had been dying suddenly become healthy and active. "Nothing is impossible." Chaeyoung replied, "Humans do not accept limitations. We find ways around them." On the granite homeworld, engineer Ko Sung-min worked with local technicians to install human manufacturing systems. The planet had struggled with resource shortages for generations. The new fabricator swarms could turn worthless rock into any material needed. "Your machines make something from nothing," observed the granite chief engineer as he watched asteroids being converted into building materials. "Not from nothing," Sung-min corrected, "from everything." Humans see potential where others see waste. The cultural changes were even more significant than the technological ones. Anthropologist Cha Mina documented how human concepts began influencing alien societies. Species that had been rigid and hierarchical for millennia started encouraging innovation and creativity. Young aliens began asking questions their elders had never considered. "Why do we do things this way?" became a common phrase on worlds that had never questioned tradition. "What if we tried something different?" became the motto of a new generation. The Aerial Federation abandoned their caste system after young aerial engineers demonstrated that mixed caste teams produced better results than pure blood groups. The Machine Collective began experimenting with intuitive logic after seeing how human artificial intelligence combined analytical thinking with creative inspiration. On Earth, former Ambassador Kang Minho, now elderly but still sharp, walked through the restored council chambers. The same hall where humanity had been condemned now hosted celebrations of human achievements. Alien children played in corridors that had once echoed with calls for human exile. "Did you ever imagine it would end like this?" asked his aide, a young diplomat named Yoon Ji-won. Minho smiled as he watched a group of mixed-species children working together on a science project. "I hoped for acceptance. I never dreamed we would become the teachers." Commander An Sun-ho cursed as sparks flew from his ship's control panels. The stealth frigate Shadow Dance shuddered as another system failed. They had been observing a routine Vrex patrol when the quantum tunnel drive malfunctioned, dropping them back into normal space directly in front of the alien ships. "Engineering report," he shouted over the sound of alarms. "Drive core is completely dead," replied his chief engineer, Lieutenant Wan Minju. "Stealth systems are failing. Sir, they can see us now." On the main screen, 6 Virex patrol ships were turning toward them, with weapons charging. These were not exploration vessels. They were military cruisers designed for combat. Each one was 3 times larger than the human frigate. "Communications," Sun-ho ordered. "Send distress signal to Fleet Command. Include all tactical data. Signal sent, his communication officer confirmed. But sir, help is 3 hours away. We need to handle this ourselves. The Vrex ships opened fire first. Massive energy beams lanced through space, the kind of weapons that could destroy a city. But they were designed for fighting other slow, heavily armored alien ships. The human frigate danced between the blasts like a bird avoiding thrown stones. Return fire, Sunho commanded. All weapons, maximum power. The shadow dance carried weapons that no alien had ever seen. Quantum torpedoes that could phase through solid matter. Particle beams that moved at near light speed. Missiles that could think for themselves and adapt to enemy defenses. The first Vrex ship died before its crew understood what was happening. The quantum torpedo passed through its armor like it was not there, detonating inside the ship's reactor core. The explosion was visible from several star systems away. Target the second ship, Sunho ordered. Same attack pattern. The battle lasted exactly 4 minutes. When it was over, 6 Vrex cruisers had been reduced to expanding clouds of debris. The human frigate had taken no damage at all. It was not even a fair fight. Jump drive is repaired, Engineer Wan Minju reported. We can leave whenever you are ready. Not yet, Sunho replied grimly. Scan the debris field. Make sure there are no survivors to report what they saw. But it was too late. One of the Vrex ships had managed to send an emergency transmission before it died. The message was brief, but shocking. Humans had returned and they possessed weapons that could destroy entire fleets. The transmission reached Vrex command 3 hours later. Admiral Thex-9 stared at the report in disbelief. According to their records, humans were still trapped in Sol space with primitive technology. This had to be some kind of mistake. Verify this report, he ordered his aide. Send scouts to investigate the battle site. The scouts found exactly what the transmission had described. The remains of 6 military cruisers destroyed by unknown weapons. The debris patterns showed damage unlike anything in Vrex military databases. Thex-9 summoned his best analysts. What kind of weapons could do this? Unknown, sir, replied his science officer. The energy signatures do not match any known technology. The precision of the attack suggests incredibly advanced targeting systems. Could the humans have developed such weapons? Impossible, sir. Our intelligence reports show they are still confined to Sol space with limited resources. But Thex-9 was not convinced. He ordered a full investigation into human activities. What his spies discovered over the following weeks shattered every assumption about the exiled species. On Earth, Admiral Choi Min-seok received the battle report with mixed feelings. Commander An Sunho had performed brilliantly, but the secret was out. After 35 years of hidden expansion, humanity's presence in the galaxy was no longer secret. What are your orders, sir? Asked his aide, Captain Bae Ju-hyun. Send word to all fleet commanders, Min-seok replied. Operation Revelation is now active. It is time to show the galaxy what we have become. The Vrex investigation uncovered the truth piece by piece. Human colonies existed on hundreds of worlds. Human ships patrolled vast regions of space. Human technology had advanced far beyond anything the aliens possessed. Most shocking of all, humanity's population had grown to over 100 billion people. They were no longer a minor species. They were one of the largest civilizations in the galaxy. Counselor Thex-9 called an emergency session of the Galactic Council. Representatives from all 12 species gathered in the Great Hall, where humanity had been exiled 50 years earlier. The human situation has changed dramatically, he announced. They are no longer contained in Sol space. Our analysis suggests they have colonized over 300 star systems. The jellyfish-like aquatic council member floated nervously in its tank. How is this possible? We have maintained patrols around Sol space for decades. Their technology allows them to travel undetected, Thex-9 explained. They have been expanding for decades without our knowledge. The bird-like aerial representative fluffed its silver feathers in agitation. What is their military capability? Unknown, but potentially significant. A single human ship destroyed 6 of our cruisers without taking damage. Panic spread through the council chamber. The species that had united to exile humanity now faced the possibility that their former victims had become more powerful than all of them combined. The Granite Council member's rocky voice rumbled with concern. What do they want? Why have they remained hidden? We do not know, Thex-9 admitted. But we cannot ignore this threat any longer. Dr. Zhong Dayun worked frantically in her intelligence analysis center on Haven. Intercepted alien communications showed that panic was spreading through every major government in the galaxy. The discovery of humanity's expansion had terrified the alien powers. They are calling emergency military sessions, she reported to Admiral Choi Min-seok via quantum communication. Every species is mobilizing their fleets. Let them, Min-seok replied. We have been preparing for this day for 50 years. The Vrex Empire, desperate to maintain their position as the galaxy's dominant power, decided to act first. Admiral Thex-9 assembled the largest fleet in Vrex history, over 2,000 ships including their most powerful battleships and carriers. We will strike at their primary base and eliminate this threat before it grows larger, he declared to his officers. Humanity will learn that the galaxy belongs to its rightful rulers. Intelligence reports suggested that the main human base was in the Kepler 442 system. The Vrex fleet jumped toward their target, confident that overwhelming force would crush human resistance. Fleet Admiral Ko Jungmin watched the approaching Vrex armada from the command center on Haven. His sensors tracked every ship in the alien formation. They were flying in the same predictable patterns they had used for centuries. Admiral, reported his tactical officer, the Vrex fleet consists of 2,300 ships. Standard formation approaching at sublight speed. How quaint, Ko Jungmin replied. They still fight like it is the old days. Signal all units. Operation demonstration is now active. What the Vrex found at Kepler 442 was not what they expected. Instead of a single large base, they discovered a fully developed star system with dozens of inhabited worlds, hundreds of space stations, and thousands of defensive platforms. Impossible, Admiral Thex-9 whispered. How could they build so much? Without our knowledge? Before he could process what he was seeing, the human response began. Ships appeared from nowhere as stealth systems deactivated. The Vrex formation suddenly found itself surrounded by vessels that had been invisible moments before. Captain Ryu Sang-hoon commanded the heavy cruiser Thunder's Edge, one of 50 ships in the first response wave. His orders were simple: demonstrate human capabilities without unnecessary destruction. Target their flagship, he ordered his weapons officer. Single quantum torpedo, minimum yield. The torpedo struck Admiral Thex-9's command ship precisely in the main communications array. The explosion was small but perfectly placed, disabling the ship's ability to coordinate the fleet without harming the crew. Across the Vrex formation, human ships appeared and disappeared like ghosts. They struck with surgical precision, disabling weapons and engines while leaving life support intact. The alien crews watched in horror as their mighty fleet was systematically neutralized by opponents they could barely see. How are they moving so fast? Thex-9 demanded of his bridge crew. Unknown, sir. Their acceleration rates exceed our maximum speed. They appear and disappear faster than our sensors can track. The Vrex ships tried to fight back, but their weapons could not hit targets that moved like lightning. Their formations, designed for fighting other slow alien fleets, were useless against enemies that could attack from any direction at any time. Captain Ryu Sang-hoon watched the alien response with professional interest. Their tactical doctrine has not changed in 500 years, he observed. They still think in terms of massive formations exchanging fire at long range. Orders, sir? Asked his weapons officer. Continue demonstration. Disable their engines and weapons, but avoid casualties. We want them to remember this lesson, not die from it. The Battle of Kepler 442 lasted exactly 1 hour. When it ended, the entire Vrex fleet hung helpless in space. Not a single ship had been destroyed, but none remained capable of combat. Meanwhile, the human fleet had taken no damage whatsoever. Admiral Park Jinwoo stood on the bridge of the exploration ship Silent Wind as it emerged from quantum tunnel space. Before them stretched a star system that no alien had ever claimed. The planets were harsh and unwelcoming, exactly the kind of place humanity now called home. Sensors show no alien presence, reported his navigation officer, Lieutenant Choi Yun-soo. The system appears to be completely empty. Perfect, Jinwoo replied. Begin deep scan for suitable asteroid fields and planetary resources. This will be our first foothold beyond Sol. It had been 20 years since Dr. O'Meajan's quantum tunnel drive had freed humanity from their prison. 20 years of secret expansion into the dark spaces between alien territories. The galaxy thought humans were still trapped in Sol space, but they were wrong. The Silent Wind was one of 50 exploration ships mapping the galactic frontier. These regions were considered worthless by alien standards. Too far from trade routes, too harsh for normal colonization, too dangerous for civilian ships. For humans who had learned to live in asteroid belts and on barren moons, they were paradise. Dr. Han Seoyan worked in the ship's science bay, analyzing the data streaming in from their sensors. She had discovered something amazing during their years of exploration. Human technology had evolved far beyond anything the aliens possessed. "Admiral," she called out excitedly, "you need to see this comparison." She displayed two ships on the main screen, a human stealth frigate and an alien patrol cruiser. "Our ship is completely invisible to their sensors. We tested this last month when we observed that Vrex patrol. They passed within 1,000 kilometers and detected nothing. The stealth technology was just one advantage. Human ships were faster, more maneuverable, and more efficient than anything in the alien fleets. Most importantly, they could operate independently for years without resupply, thanks to the fabricator swarms that could rebuild anything from raw materials. On the planet that would become Haven, Colony Director Moon Jiho watched the terraforming machines at work. The world had been a frozen wasteland when they arrived 5 years ago. Now vast domed cities dotted the landscape, connected by transport tubes that carried people and goods across continents. "Population report," he asked his assistant, Engineer Ko Sunwoo. 2 million residents as of this morning, Sunwoo replied. "Growth rate is steady at 10% per year. We are ahead of schedule for full terraforming completion." The terraforming technology was purely human innovation. Instead of trying to change entire planet atmospheres like aliens did, humans built perfect environments inside protective domes. It was faster, more efficient, and required fewer resources. Inside the domes, the cities were marvels of engineering. Vertical farms provided fresh food. Fusion reactors provided unlimited clean energy. Automated factories produced everything the colonists needed. Children played in parks while their parents worked on projects that would have been considered impossible by alien standards. But humanity was not just building colonies. They were gathering intelligence. Chief Nam Young-mi operated from a hidden facility on Haven, monitoring alien communications across the galaxy. Her team of analysts had spent years learning alien languages and cracking their codes. "The situation is worse than we thought," she reported to Admiral Jinwoo during their monthly intelligence briefing. "The alien civilizations are completely stagnant." She displayed intercepted alien communications on the holographic projector. "The Vrex Empire has not developed new technology in over 300 years. Their military doctrine has not changed in 500 years. They are completely unprepared for any real threat." The intelligence was shocking. The species that had exiled humanity for being too innovative had stopped innovating themselves. They relied on ancient technologies and outdated strategies. Their societies were rigid hierarchies that discouraged new ideas. "What about their military capabilities?" Jinwoo asked. "Impressive by their standards, pathetic by ours," Young-mi replied. "Their largest battleships are slower than our smallest scouts. Their weapons cannot penetrate the armor we developed 10 years ago. Their sensors cannot detect our stealth systems." Captain Yu Hyerim commanded the deep reconnaissance ship Ghostwalker. Her mission was to penetrate alien space and map their defenses. It was dangerous work, but her ship was virtually invisible to alien detection systems. "Beginning approach to Vrex border fortress Nexus 7, she reported to her crew. "Maintain silent running protocols." The fortress was supposed to be impregnable, a massive space station that controlled access to the Vrex core systems. It bristled with weapons and housed 10,000 soldiers. To alien minds, it was the ultimate defensive position. To human eyes, it was a relic. The fortress relied on outdated sensors that could not detect modern stealth technology. Its weapons were designed for the massive, slow-moving ships that aliens preferred. Its defensive positions were fixed and predictable. "Scan complete," reported her sensor officer, Petty Officer Lee Hunwoo. "I have detailed blueprints of their entire defensive network. Also, their communication codes are pathetically simple to crack. Hiram smiled grimly. Transmit everything to Intelligence Command. Add a note that a single human frigate could probably destroy this entire fortress without taking damage. The reconnaissance missions revealed a disturbing truth. The alien powers that ruled the galaxy were weak and complacent. They had grown so used to stability that they could not adapt to change. Their militaries were ceremonial forces designed for parades rather than actual combat. Meanwhile, humanity's secret empire continued to grow. Admiral Seo Kyung-hwan commanded the hidden shipyards in the Kepler 442 system. Hundreds of ships took shape in the asteroid factories, each one representing capabilities beyond alien imagination. Production status report, he requested from his chief engineer, Commander Lim Seong-jin. We completed 12 stealth frigates this month, Seong-jin replied. Also 6 heavy cruisers and 2 experimental battleships, all equipped with quantum tunnel drives and advanced stealth systems. The ships being built were not just superior to alien vessels, they were completely different. Human military doctrine emphasized speed, stealth, and overwhelming firepower applied precisely. Alien doctrine emphasized massive formations of slow, heavily armored ships that could batter through enemy defenses. In a conflict between the two philosophies, there would be no contest. Dr. Jong Da-yoon led the alien technology analysis program from her laboratory on Haven. Her team studied every piece of alien equipment they could acquire through covert means. The results were consistently disappointing. Their computers are incredibly primitive, she explained to the Research Council. They use physical switches and manual controls because they do not trust artificial intelligence. Their ships require crews of thousands to operate systems that our ships can run with dozens. She showed examples of alien and human technology side by side. This alien navigation computer takes 10 minutes to calculate a simple course change. Our computers do the same calculation in milliseconds while simultaneously managing hundreds of other systems. The technology gap was growing wider every year. Humans advanced rapidly while aliens remained static. What had started as a small advantage was becoming an insurmountable lead. On the colony world of New Jeju, families lived lives that would have been unimaginable to their ancestors. Children attended schools that taught advanced engineering and quantum physics as basic subjects. Adults worked on projects that pushed the boundaries of science and technology. Teacher Park Masu watched her students design improvements to the quantum tunnel drive. These were not adult engineers, they were 12-year-old children treating faster-than-light travel as a simple homework assignment. What if we modified the quantum field generator to create multiple tunnels simultaneously? Asked student Hong Junho. Interesting idea, Misu replied. What would be the advantages? We could send ships to different destinations at the same time, another student Kim Yusu suggested. Or we could create escape routes if one tunnel was blocked. Ideas that had never occurred to alien scientists were coming from human children. The exile had not weakened humanity. It had accelerated their development to incredible levels. Admiral Park Jin-woo reviewed the expansion. Reports in his private office aboard the command ship, Horizon's Edge. 300 star systems now housed human colonies. Over 50 billion people lived in the secret empire. Industrial capacity exceeded the combined output of all alien civilizations. Most importantly, humanity was united in a way they had never been before. The exile had eliminated the old divisions between nations and cultures. All humans now shared a common identity and purpose, to prove their worth to a galaxy that had rejected them. Intelligence Officer Kwon Yu-min entered with the latest reports from alien space. Sir, we have confirmation that the aliens have no idea we exist beyond Sol. Their patrols have not detected any sign of our expansion. How is that possible? Jinwoo asked. We have ships and colonies throughout the galaxy. Their sensor technology is centuries out of date, Yumin explained. They look for the kind of large obvious signatures their own ships produce. Our stealth technology makes us invisible to their detection methods. The Great Hall of the Galactic Council stretched as far as the eye could see. Massive pillars of blue crystal rose toward a dome that showed the stars beyond. 12 different alien species sat in their designated areas, each one more strange than the last. Some had scales, others had tentacles, and a few looked like walking rocks. Kang Minho stood alone in the center of the hall. He was the human ambassador wearing his best dark suit. His hands shook slightly as he looked up at the alien judges who would decide humanity's fate. Behind him sat the only other humans allowed in the chamber, Dr. Yoon Nara, a brilliant scientist, and Captain Lee Dong-hyun, a space explorer. The Vrex leader spoke first. It was a tall creature with gray skin and 4 arms. Its voice sounded like metal scraping against stone. We have gathered to discuss the human problem. This species has grown too dangerous to remain in our galaxy. Minho stepped forward. Honored council members, humanity requests the right to defend ourselves against these charges. We have done nothing but try to find our place among the stars. A creature that looked like a giant jellyfish floated in its tank. Its voice came through speakers. Your species spreads too quickly. In 50 years, you have claimed 30 star systems. The Vrex took 500 years to claim the same number. We explore because we dream of the future, Minho replied. We build because we want to create something better for our children. Is that wrong? The rock-like granite council member rumbled with a voice like thunder. Your species fights constantly. Even now, wars rage on your homeworld. You bring violence wherever you go. Dr. Yoon Nara stood up. Council members, may I speak? Yes, humans have conflicts, but we also have incredible achievements. We cured cancer in 30 years. We developed clean energy that could power entire worlds. We create art and music that speaks to the soul. She activated a hologram that showed human achievements, beautiful cities, amazing technology and art, that even made some aliens lean forward with interest. We are not just warriors. We are builders, dreamers, and healers. But the council was not convinced. A bird-like alien with silver feathers spoke next. Your technological growth is unnatural. You advance too fast. In the time it takes our species to improve one technology, you improve 10. This threatens the balance we have maintained for thousands of years. Captain Lee Dong-hyun could not stay quiet anymore. So you want to punish us for being successful? You want to destroy us because we dare to grow and learn? The Vrex leader's 4 arms gestured sharply. We do not seek your destruction. We seek your containment. The council has decided. Humanity will return to your home system and remain there. All human colonies outside the Sol system must be abandoned within 1 galactic year. The words hit like a physical blow. Minho felt his knees go weak. You cannot do this. Millions of humans live in those colonies. Families have built entire lives out there. The decision is final, the jellyfish creature said. Any human ship found outside Sol space after the deadline will be destroyed. This is for the good of the galaxy. This is madness, Dr. Yoon Nara shouted. You are condemning millions to death or exile based on fear. The council members did not change their minds. One by one, they voted. 12 species, 12 votes against humanity. Not one voice spoke in their defense. Meanwhile, far from the council chambers, Captain Lee Dong-hyun's exploration ship Perseverance orbited a beautiful world covered in blue oceans and green continents. His crew was studying the planet as a possible new colony. Engineer Park So-man was testing the atmosphere while xenobiologist Kim Ji-soo cataloged the local plant life. This world is perfect, So-man said, looking at her readings. Clean air, fresh water, fertile soil. We could have a colony here within 5 years. Ji-soo smiled as she examined a flower-like plant. The ecosystem is amazing. Non-hostile wildlife, edible plants, and natural resources. It's like this planet was made for us. Then the emergency message came through. The ship's communication officer called out in panic. Captain! Priority message from Earth Command. Dong-hyun rushed to the bridge. The message was from Admiral Cho Hyun-woo, his face grim on the screen. All human ships are ordered to return to Sol space immediately. The Galactic Council has exiled our species. We have 1 year to evacuate all colonies. The bridge fell silent. So-man dropped her scanner. Ji-soo stared at the beautiful planet below, knowing they would never return. Sir, the communication officer said quietly, long-range sensors are detecting alien ships approaching all human colonies. They're not here to help with evacuation. Across human space, the same scene played out again and again. Alien warships appeared at every human world. They were not there to assist with the evacuation. They were there to make sure nothing useful was left behind. On New Sol, a colony of 2 million people, families packed their belongings while alien ships watched from orbit. Children cried as they left the only homes they had ever known. Parents tried to stay strong while their hearts broke. The aliens destroyed everything humans could not take. Factories, power plants, hospitals, schools, all reduced to ash. They even destroyed the monuments and art that humans had created. Nothing could remain that might give humanity an advantage. The evacuation became a desperate race. Cargo ships meant for supplies carried refugees instead. Passenger ships designed for comfort were packed beyond capacity. Every vessel that could fly was pressed into service. Admiral Cho Hyun-woo watched from the bridge of his flagship as the last human transports fled toward Earth. Behind them, alien ships continued their systematic destruction. 50 years of human progress in space was being erased in weeks. "Admiral," his aide said, "the final transport has entered Sol space. We're all home now." Hyun-woo looked at the stars that had once been filled with human dreams. Now they belonged to aliens who feared what humanity might become. He thought about the millions of refugees heading toward an already overcrowded Earth. He thought about the families torn apart and the dreams destroyed. But he also thought about something else. Humans did not break easily. They had survived ice ages, plagues, wars, and disasters that would have destroyed other species. This exile was just another challenge. "They think they have caged us," he said quietly. "They have no idea what they have just done. They wanted to contain humanity's chaos. Instead, they have given us a reason to become something they cannot imagine." The great exile was complete. Humanity was alone in their small corner of space, surrounded by enemies who would destroy them if they tried to leave. But Admiral Hyun-woo smiled grimly. The aliens had made a critical mistake. They had underestimated what humans could do when they had nothing left to lose. The galaxy would learn that lesson soon enough.